the source of competitive advantage, because this ability to create greater customer intimacy based on insights that one company has that their competitor might not have. Well, there's two primary reasons to develop competencies around managing the customer experience. I think one is company-centric. From a company's point of view, when you develop greater capabilities to manage the customer experience, it forces the organization to direct resources, people, and dollars toward customers that have the greatest opportunity to become long-term and profitable customers, the greatest capacity and the greatest propensity. So it makes the organization more efficient, and it eliminates a lot of the waste that would ordinarily come from selling products to people that don't use them or that don't use them profitably over the long term. So that's from a company point of view. From a customer point of view, and Martha mentions this, the customer feels the difference, because now all of a sudden your interactions are being orchestrated across products and channels. So you don't feel like you're targeted and marketed to.
Right.
You feel like information is being used in ways that you perceive value.
Right. Right. So instead of just hearing from my local car dealership, every time they send out a mailing piece, they send it out to everybody who ever bought a car there. So everybody gets the same offers for oil changes or the next model of car or anything else. Instead of, this company could figure out that I have one of their cars in my garage and the other car in my garage is somebody else's, but they don't know that or think about it. They don't know that my son is, say, I'm making this up, is 15 years old and that pretty soon he's going to need a used car. So they're just sending out the same thing the same way to everybody, but they could be instead thinking about what's the next right thing for Martha's household? What's the next best thing that we could do for her?
Right, which leads to an important purpose that leads to the research, which is what we find increasingly is that there's a heightened awareness that many organizations understand the importance of this. And it's been well documented, the benefits of doing it right, and there's plenty of success stories. It's also been well documented, the price you pay of doing it wrong. The voice that customers have at the click of the mouse to influence other customers.
Let me give you an example of that. HSBC here in Europe. HSBC one year, I think it was 2007, decided over the summer quiet time that the free overdraft protection that they provided for college students should go away. It was expensive for them. So in the fall, they quietly put the overdraft fee back in. Well, the college students realized this. They got onto Facebook. Now, Facebook now has a population the same size as the United States. Even in 2007, it was still pretty big. And so students using Facebook, they got on there and they decided that to threaten HSBC with going on strike, we're going to all leave HSBC and take our checking accounts somewhere else unless you reinstate that amazing overdraft protection for free. And HSBC had to reverse their decision. So that's powerful stuff.
So the power is shifted to customers. We all know that that's the new reality. So the question then becomes, what do organizations need to do to be successful in this new world? And so we set out to do the research, principally to see where companies are. So there were 4 different categories of the research. One was measuring their customer orientation, which was, I think, 9 principal questions around that. The second...
as opposed to just product orientation.
Right, very important. Culture and trust. So the second one was how their ability to manage customer insight. 19 questions around that. There were 9 questions around interaction, how you use the insight to manage the customer interaction, and 9 questions around the improvement process. And that's very important because that's where you actually learn. It's when you make your customer metrics part of the organizational KPIs, so you can continuously learn from every customer interaction. So those were the 4 major categories of the research. And the reason that that's important, we asked companies to rate their capabilities. For example, how well do you measure customer profitability? From poor to excellent, 5-point scale. So what we were interested in measuring is capabilities, not how important they thought it was. And so at the end, what a company competes with are their capabilities. What they compete against are their competitors' capabilities. So we rolled up the research, and we felt like this is very important for companies to be able to benchmark where they stand versus their competitors. And some very interesting findings came out of the research.
I was just going to say, basically what part of what we're looking for is sort of a pair of qualities of a company. When we orientation, the idea of, we think culture, at Peppers & Rogers Group, we define culture as what your employees do when no one is looking.
Right.
So there are some places where no matter what the slogan is, a company's employees will basically do whatever will help them get the best bonus this quarter. At other companies, the real customer orientation comes through, and it's play fair and do the best thing you can for your customer. And as long as that's the case, then you're going to see different kinds of decisions and actions driving those employees. So we think the culture is part of it. And the other part of it is capabilities. Because if a culture is very much in favor of customers, but it still takes a week to get a question answered, or we still make mistakes in the IT area, or we still can't analyze the data in a way that makes any sense, then we still can't get where we need to go, and we can't really set up a situation or a company that customers can truly trust. Okay. So as we were setting up this experience, this customer experience monitor, how mature companies are depends on a balance of those two, the culture of a company and also the capabilities of that company.